Hey Rockstar, try this thought on for size. The comedian and entertainer known as Steve Harvey, he once said this on the show. You have to lose your fear of failure. Failure is a part of the process. People who never fail never try. You have to get it wrong before you get it right. What do you think about that? Welcome, Rockstar, welcome to Hey Rockstar. I'm your host, Josafat Emiliano. This is episode 106, Overcoming the Fear of Rejection. You know it's going to be a good show. And Miguel, do the thing, yo.
One, two, three. One, two, three. Let's go.
Hey Rockstar, welcome. This is a show devoted to bringing value to those interested in starting a side hustle or side business. Whether you're looking to be dual vocational, full-time, part-time, or sometime, I bet our stories will entertain you, encourage you, and empower you to become the rock star of your business and industry. Yes. Welcome back. Did you miss me? Last week we had a great week. We had a great episode. Let me just welcome you all to Hey Rockstar. If it's your first time here, this is a storytelling platform. It's a place where we share the stories and the struggles and the victories and the life lessons from many leaders and entrepreneurs who come and they share their story for you, for those of you who are wanting to be leaders, who are wanting to be entrepreneurs, and you're just looking for that one little missing key to your puzzle so that you can then go and become the rock star of your industry. That's why this show exists. Another thing, if you are tuning in, we are an interactive show. We are streaming right now live on YouTube and Facebook. If you happen to make a comment relevant to the topic today, I will highlight it. I will give you a shout out right here, right by my name where it says Josafat Emiliano. We'll just put it there. If and also a shout out to everyone who's watching on Instagram. I can't highlight your comment, but I can see what you wrote right now. I see Coach Jacob Bruce saying "Let's go." That's his favorite part of the little intro. Or we go 3, 2, 1, let's go. And right now, Mr. Dan King Domain just said, amen with a high fire. Daniel, my man, we need to talk. Shoot me a message. I would love to share your story one of these days on Hey Rockstar. We met back in Dallas last year at Tag Talks. Powerful story. A minister also. Great testimony. I would love to share your story. I've been bringing in missionaries. I've been bringing in ministers because they too have powerful stories of leadership, of overcoming certain things to rise up to whom they are called to be. All right, without any further ado, let's just jump right in. For those of you who are part of my Single Men of Faith Facebook group, it's called Sacred Men's Co. It's a place where we are empowering single men of faith on their purpose journey. For those who are looking for or struggling for fulfillment, or they've somehow lost their sense of purpose and just need help in fine tuning and find their way that way, we are helping them bring that enlightenment and mentoring them. Every Saturday, I'm doing a mindset call with the gentlemen in this group. And this Saturday, we spoke on rejection. And, the topic was so good. I got some comments that people sent me messages later on asking if I could elaborate more or just talk to a bit more. And I wanted to fine tune and speak more on overcoming the fear of rejection. And I figured, why not here on Hey Rockstar on episode 106, as good as any platform to share that story. So let me just take off these glasses so you guys can chime in, can bring in. Let me go and pull up the comments. So if anyone wants to comment during the show, we'll go ahead and elaborate and highlight and have a conversation. So first of all, Hope you're having a great weekend. Today's hump day, today's Wednesday, or as my friends in the financial services, we like to say, it's Wealthy Wednesday. It's a great day to be here. And the week's only halfway done. There's so much more living, there's so much more to do. But we're going to focus on that one topic, rejection. And more importantly, we are going to talk about overcoming the fear of rejection. So, if I believe everyone has at one point in their life or another have suffered with a fear of rejection. And as I was breaking it down, there's basically three areas of rejection that we tend to face in our lifetime. The first one is the most obvious one. It's the fear of rejection, or just rejection from people. And some of us fear that rejection. Some of us, we wear different hats, or we pretend to be the nice guy. We pretend to be someone we're not because we don't want to offend, or we don't want to come off as strange or weird, or we're just trying to constantly seek the approval of others. A lot of my single men of faith, that's one thing that they're having to relearn, that it's okay to set boundaries and say no to people. You are not God. You cannot please everyone. You are human. You are meant to do what you are called to do, to explore and figure that out and do the best you can to His honor, His glory. But it's not your job to make everyone happy. It's not your job to make sure that everyone likes you. The rejection from others, from people, is going to happen. Now, there's so many different levels into that. I just kind of generalized it and brought it down to just the fear of people, or rejection of people. Some of us have that fear of rejection of people, or we've suffered rejection from others. And you know what? It's most obvious in relationships, sometimes in family relationships, sometimes in networking areas. There's just a certain person who you just don't vibe with, you just don't mesh well with, and it's okay. You don't have to be liked by everyone. But there's some people who actually have a fear, especially when it comes to like romantic ventures, when you're really interested in someone, and just the thought of them rejecting you is so strong that it winds up paralyzing you, that you just don't even ask them. You do the sin of assumption and then just assume they're not going to say yes, or they're going to say yes, but you want, or maybe you've been lying to yourself and thinking, oh, I'm the best, I am Mr. Rico Suave, all the girls love me, or everyone loves me. But then you have a fear of actually going out there and speaking to some people, for fear that your inner dialogue will be proven wrong. And you don't want that to happen to you. So instead of just testing the waters, you just don't test them at all. You just live in that happy little lie that nothing's gonna happen, or you just never take a chance because you don't want to lose a friendship, because you're scared they're gonna reject you in something more romantic. And so that's the first area that we tend to witness, and we tend to experience rejection, and that's rejection from others, people. And sometimes it's our fault, sometimes it's not our fault. You never know where that person's at. Actually, most of the time, I wager that it's not even your fault, because that person has other things on their mind. You probably aren't the first one on the person on your on. You're probably not the person on their mind, or maybe you are. And this, I don't know. I'm not gonna go into those details. I'm just trying to say, because I remember I did a video once talking about, when people give you compliments or give you criticism, you should never judge your life by the opinions of others, whether it's good or bad. You should never believe what others say, good or bad. And by that I mean, like, don't take it as scripture towards your life, because the words that people use to you are words that come from, or where they're at. For example, I have a brother who is very positive. He's always speaking life, and actually I like to use positive words when I describe and I share with others. And I'm constantly going to be using positive ways of speaking. Um, and but that's because I want to speak life. For the fruit that comes from me is life, so I speak life to that person, and I believe they're good people, but I'm just constantly encouraging. And so sometimes my brother will just say like over exaggerate compliments, because that's his nature. He loves to make people feel so good in that, but that person could probably be furthest from that truth. But it's not them. It's because my brother, he is such a full life filled person. He has to speak life. And the same thing I hear from others who speak negative. I've been around people who they share and they'll say things that are so gloomy. They're constantly nitpicking. They're constantly pointing at the stains instead of the beautiful shirt. They look at the little breadcrumb that fell on your shirt, because that's just the nature of where their vision is. And that's not to say you should never look at yourself like, oh man, I'm a messy person. I had a breadcrumb on my shirt. How dare I'm such a mess. No, it's just that person's vision that is so limited or so narrow-minded into the negative. It's where they're at. It's not who you are. You get what I'm trying to say? That so rejection you should never take that as that's yours, unless you know that you haven't done the best for you. And we'll talk about that in a little bit more. Shout out to everyone who's jumping on. I'm seeing names jumping on Instagram. How's it going, everyone? How's your day going? If you're watching on Instagram, you're welcome to give a shout out, to make a comment. I will try to read them out loud. But if you want to jump onto either Facebook or YouTube, and if you place your comment there live, I'll be able to highlight it here and share your wisdom with everyone else. So the first one I was talking about is the rejection from people. The second type of rejection we can experience, and we have experienced, is the rejection of opportunity. The rejection of a chance to advance or a chance to move forward. Now, a lot of things can take play for you to not be able to move forward in a certain opportunity. Let's say, for example, an opportunity for an investment venture comes through, and but you don't have the funds because you never saved any aside. You never paid yourself first. You didn't do the work thinking ahead of time, and so you don't have the money to invest in that. So of course, obviously, they're going to reject you from that opportunity. Let's say another job offer or a job opportunity comes around, and a lot of people are gunning for that position, but you don't do your homework. You don't read up on the company. You don't check everything and learn and highlight your strengths that the company is looking for, so that you can be sure to bring that to the table when you're asking. You don't bring questions to ask them about their company. You just show up, and someone who actually did the work, they appear more qualified, and of course that you get overpassed or you get bypassed for someone else. You get rejected from that opportunity. So those tend to be more common, rejection of opportunity, and a lot of times it has nothing to do with you. It's just you don't have the right skill. You're not the right person for the job. You are, yeah, basically that's just it. It's not an opportunity meant for you. I was sharing with everyone back on Saturday, and not all rejected opportunities is a bad thing. For example, I know I'm not meant to be a Olympic swimmer. I'm not. I like swimming. I like floating more than swimming. I am not the fastest. I have never trained to swim fast. One time I did train for a triathlon, um, um, and the swimming was by far I was actually cycling. I had it down, and swimming I was okay. I had to learn and practice swimming so I can at least be somewhat competitive. And then running was where I really had to 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 practice more, because your boy doesn't like running. And I even shared the meme, or not the meme, the reel that I shared the other day when I was drinking my coffee. I was just taking a sip, like, well, even though the Bible says that the wicked run when no one's chasing them, but you didn't hear that from me. But I was just joking around. If you love to run, if that's your passion, by all means, you are probably not. You're probably gonna miss out on the opportunity of being. I'm trying to think. If you're a runner, you're probably gonna be the the person miss the opportunity of being the person who who sits the longest? I don't know. I don't know. Or is a NASCAR driver? Who knows? Who knows? I'm just saying that opportunity, rejection from that opportunity should not offend me because I'm not conditioned for that. I'm not desiring that. That's not something that brings me pleasure to be an Olympic swimmer. I have other areas where I am given an opportunity. As a matter of fact, and actually, we're going to come back and revisit these because the whole idea, the title is Overcoming the Fear of Rejection. That's what we want to hear. That's what we want to know. What does Josafat have up his sleeve? The last um, form of rejection that we tend to face or we can face. I believe this was the more critical of the three. The first one was rejection from people. The second is rejection from opportunity. But the third, by far, is a root cause, and that's when you listen to the negative. You don't try every opportunity, and you, the first few failed opportunities or reject opportunities, you deem it as you start to identify with that failure, identify with that loss, which I love to teach. Don't to disconnect your identity from failure. But once you start believing the lies or the negative of other people and you identify with the failures, then unfortunately some people fall into this slippery slope of rejection of one's self, rejection of yourself. When you start to believe the lies and you start thinking, hey, I really am not worthy. I really can't do anything good. I've shared this story that one of my upbringings or one of my critical moments as a child was, and I had to go and do the work, I had to do the therapy, I had to do the praying, the fasting to have a sozo moment to realize one of the key moments in my life was when young little Josafat saw himself, was standing in front of this huge mirror, and as he looked at himself, as I looked at myself, I repeated the words that people were telling me when people were criticizing me. And basically, I came in agreement with the words of, I am a nobody. I am nothing. Everyone else, they have permission to succeed, but not you. You are destined for nothing. Those are horrible words for a little kid to tell himself. And it was so bad that my subconscious hid those words from myself. And it was a lot of doing the shadow working, a lot of working on myself, self-development, seeking out what was my limiting factor, what were my limiting beliefs. Because everything else, if you know me, if you grew up with me, Josafat is Mr. Positive. Josafat is Mr. Go-Getter. Josafat is Mr. Energetic, going and constantly pushing everyone up, pushing everyone up. But deep down inside, I had accepted a lie. And I accepted the rejection of myself because I believed that everyone else deserved to be above me. I didn't deserve to elevate myself. Imagine that. It took 30 plus years to come to realization that that lie is what was holding me back. The enemy is very astute. The enemy gets into our lives at a very young age. He goes and he's attacking, he's confusing, he is spitting lies to our younger generations so that they can speak and come in agreement with those negative, those wrong thoughts, those limiting beliefs, so that they will then in fact turn around and stop accepting themselves and start acting in the rejection of themselves. You see, the Bible teaches us that we are God's masterpiece. The Bible teaches that we are fearfully and wonderfully made, that every hair on your head is counted because you are so valuable enough that God sent a way to bring connection between him and us again through his son Jesus Christ. All that was meant because he longed to have fellowship with us. God loves being with us, around us, communion with us, fellowship with us. But the lie of the devil is that same lie. You're not good enough. You'll never be good enough. You might as well quit now. Might as well reject yourself now. What you thought you could be, don't. Rejection, rejection, rejection. And that's where the first root seed lies. Rejection of one's self. Whew. That was kind of deep. A lot of us just don't see the value of who we are anymore because we are flooded, bombarded. Our virtue is cheapened. Our value is decreased. Everything we hear, we see, we pay attention through media, through entertainment, through what's being written today, through what's being taught today. It's all saying that you are not perfect. And you start to believe the lies and say, well, I guess I'm not good enough. And you then reject your true nature, your true self, and you don't see the value in yourself. I mean, we overcompensate. We come up with lies, or we just really beat ourselves down. A lot of things. A lot of people take it to another level of self harm, self abuse, self mutilation. All these things because honestly, deep down, we have accepted the lie that we are not good enough, and we have rejected ourselves. The pain starts there. That you can't accept that you are actually worth a damn. All right, now that I got your attention, I've already spent about the first half hour just bringing it down. Three areas where we experience rejection. The first one, rejection from others. The second one, rejection from opportunity. And then the third one, the more critical one, rejection of ourselves. Those are the three areas that we experience rejection that I've seen. And then there's more smaller ones, but these are the broader general ways that we experience rejection in today. Are you with me? Do you get what I'm saying? Are you picking up what I'm dropping? Does that make sense to you? Don't worry, y'all. As a title, I'm going to give you what I believe has been the key in overcoming the fear of rejection. Just overcoming the fear of being rejected ever again. Rejection is going to happen, but doesn't mean you have to define by that your outcome by it. You're not limited to that outcome. So step one, actually, I'm just saying step one. I'm not even saying, I don't really have an order to steps. Let me take a drink here. I'm going to get right to how to overcome the fear of rejection. And we're going to start backwards. As we express fear of others is there. Rejected of others is there. Fear of being rejected by opportunity is there. And of course, usually when those fears are there, it's because we have already accepted rejection from ourselves. So the very first step that we need to do, we need to start with the root of it all, yourself, your heart, who you are. And this is when I'm glad that I'm in the business of self-development. I had to dig, and I'm still digging and learning more about myself. And the more that I spend time with my creator, the more that I study me and my nature and what I bring to the table, the more floored I am with how awesome my creator intended for me to be. All the hidden little amazing gifts that are hidden within me, I'm just blown away. Like, wow, I didn't know that you gave me that possibility, that capability, that superpower, those multiple superpowers. He's given me such a great way of being, the way I think, the way I see, the way I observe, the way I just do life is uniquely mine. And I love it. I love that I get to experience this life in this vessel, although it's not perfect. And I realize it's not perfect because of my actions, but here's the beauty. If where I am today is a result from all the choices I made yesterday, then where I want to be tomorrow starts by changing the choices I decide to take today. Does that make sense to you? I'm here today because of what I chose to do yesterday. But tomorrow, I'm going to be somewhere different because today I'm choosing to change things so that my tomorrow can be way different than today. Yeah, I said it a different way, but it's basically the same thing. So that's the beauty. It's about that taking ownership. I forgot which author has a book called Extreme Ownership, where anything that happens, you got to just personalize it and take accountability and say, this is my fault. I'm not a victim. This happened because of the choices I made and for putting myself in these situations and for deciding to do this, rebelling in this or studying this. Everything I've done has brought me to where I'm today, and I accepted that. But the beauty is, if it's no one else's fault that I'm here where I am today, then that means that I have the right to change where I want to be tomorrow. I can be somewhere different because I can control my destiny. I can control where I end up by changing choices today, and I can start moving myself towards that desired outcome in my life. So, the first thing is awareness. You gotta realize and become aware where you're at today, that you chose to accept the lies that have been taught to you, the 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 things that happened to you that kept telling you, and the things that are being shown and displayed to you that keep devaluing your life, taking away your virtue and just making you feel less and less of yourself. You need to become aware there is an enemy who that is his sole purpose, is to scrutinize with you, to mess you up, to get you to agree with rejecting yourself, and then you can do so much harm toward yourself. Hear me out. I believe, and I'm probably getting in trouble with this, the sin is not the mutilation. The sin is not the smoking. The sin is not the drinking. The sin is not the drug abuse. All those are situations. All those are the result of the deep down rooted pain that we've accepted and stand in agreement with a lie. That we said, we listened to his narrative, the enemy's narrative for your life, rather than what our master creator intended for us. So once you become aware that, you know what, a lot of my negative thoughts of myself are manipulations from a force that really wants to see me destroyed, really wants to see me come to nothing and to be lost forever, then I need to rebuke that. And I need to start feeding myself the life. I need to start seeking life, observing and listening to things that build up my faith for me. I need to start implementing, and maybe you are gonna have to do some self-help and do some deep searching in yourself. A lot of my breakthrough came with forgiveness of others. I had to first forgive everyone who offended me, including the one person I said I never would forgive ever in my life. And boy, I have a video on that. Back in a few months ago, or actually last year. It's the one called Sozo. Go check it out. I speak about a forgiveness that I had to do, and that freed me to move forward. But the first thing you need to do is start spending time with yourself. I know I keep saying first thing. I'm just gonna start saying the next thing. The next thing you need to do is start spending time with yourself. Get to know yourself. Don't be scared of who you are. Don't be scared of spending some alone time. And I do implement journaling. I really do, because that's the best way to slow down your thoughts. We speak and we think 100 times faster than the way we write. But when we write, it brings life. It creates thoughts. It makes the intangible thoughts and words, and brings into a tangible state of a physical state where we can now see it. And it also slows us down. And when we slow down, we can focus. We can practice meditation. But to me, meditation is fine focus on something, being able to strengthen your focus on something. And you can start seeing your words and what exactly you like, and start with a list. Write things down about yourself that you like, you don't like, you hate, you are ashamed of. Don't worry, this is not for me. I'm not asking you to email this to me. This is for you to just become aware of what's there. I remember one time in my devotional time, I remember I had 3 color pens, And with the black ink, I just started writing over. I would write things I didn't like about myself. And then once I filled it up, I wrote over that and kept writing over it. And before you know it, it was just it turned into like a big square. It looked kind of from afar like a black square, but if you look closer, you can see this writing overlapping other writings. And all these were just to show how much ugly was in me. And then I took a green pen. No, I took a red pen. And then I started speaking truth, scripture, what I knew the word of God said about me. And started speaking that I'm fearfully, wonderfully made, that I am created in his image, that I have the mind of Christ, that I am filled with his spirit, that God promises to be with me. Why would he want to be with me till the end of the days if I wasn't worth spending time with? And would write all these, that I am loved, I'm so loved. And, I was writing over it, and with red, I started writing over all the black. It's kind of meshy, but it was cool. And then at the end, I got the green. And to me, green has always been life. And it's always symbolized God. And so with big green letters, I just wrote, Josafat, I love you. Sign Jesus. It was just a little art project for myself, but it was beautiful because I saw how my life was. Like, all the ugly was covered up with the blood, was covered up with God's love for me. And at the end, the green was just an outline message saying how much I am loved. No matter what the black was, no matter how much black was, I am still loved above all that. It was just a beautiful depiction of where I was at, who I am, who you are. So it's going to take a while, especially if you've been burned, especially if you have suffered certain traumas, certain people have just hurt you. I'm not pretending this is going to be something easy for those, but it's worth it because it's your life. You want to overcome the fear of rejection. And when you start to bring out and become aware of what you don't like, but you also need to start seeing what is true, what is worth of liking. And then, of course, you need to start putting the scripture in it, because that's what brings you life. That's the promises there's over 8,000 promises for you and me in the scripture, and we need to pull them out and speak them, declare them, write them over, make sure they're there, because the more you read it, the more you see it, the more you hear it, the more your faith is boosted up. Yes, faith to me is very important. I remember my pastor back in Nashville, he once said, you know what, the world will give you facts, the world will give you a medical report that states cancer, but we believe the truth, and the truth says that we are healed, and we declare the truth, we stand by truth, and we need to continue to profess the truth, what is scripture, what is written in scripture, and above the facts. Because I'm not to get political, but how many of us have watched the news, believing everything that there's facts, only to later on find out that it was just a narrative they were boosting. That's why you need to go to the truth. What does the truth say? And stand by the truth. Anyway, so that's the first one. The place where you need to start first is get to a place where you no longer reject yourself. You start seeing the value of who you are, the value of whose you are. Why you deserve to be breathing right now is because of the many virtues placed in you at birth, the many opportunities and potential placed in you, creative potential that was birthed in you the moment you took your first breath out of the womb. You had all this great potential placed in you, and the enemy wanted to stuff that. But let's stop focusing about the enemy and start speaking that out, start living that. And the more you walk in acceptance of you, the more you start doing the work to like who you are, get to spend time, become your best friend, become the person that you root for, number one, that you set the boundaries for, number one. That will start giving you that confidence. And then, of course, when you work out for you. Don't work out for someone else. When you start eating healthy, eat healthy for you. When you start reading, read for you. Start doing it because you know that you are worth it. You are worth becoming the best version of yourself. Now, check this out. Here's the beauty. Whenever you start building on yourself, you're going to see that you are capable of learning new skills, of growing in different ways, and then you're going to have that desire to just grow your knowledge, become better and better, and keep growing and growing. And rejection of opportunity is not going to happen as often, or if it does, you're not worried, because that opportunity is not the only opportunity given to you. The beautiful thing now, and I didn't believe this at first, but now I do. I remember I had a leader who once told me that if you are a worthy salesman, or if you are someone who are really good at your craft, you're not going to have to look for work, because other work is going to come looking for you. Other opportunities are going to come to you. You know that you've made it when you have people calling you from other companies saying, we want you to come work for us. Because that's what happened to me. I'm here, and the job opportunity to become a safety manager came to me, and it's been a interesting learning process, because it's given me a way to grow so much more in other fields, and work with men in other industries, and the networking aspect of it alone has been amazing. So anyway, and the wine and the dining has been amazing. I mean, so much. I'm a blessed man, because people want to meet with me. They want to eat with me. What I'm saying is, if you do the work, it's just to get to the point where you are happy with who you are, and you want to keep working on you, then you're going to start building skills to add more value, add more potential, and grow your worth. And what that does, it starts grabbing the attention of would-be employers, would-be opportunities, because you're now thinking ahead. Like, I'm thinking money wise. I'm setting money aside, because that's what successful people do. I pay myself first, not myself last, because that's what people do. And then when opportunities come, investment, I have money, because I've been doing the work, because I deserve. I believe that I'm worth doing the work for. And so you see how that's starting to add on to each other? You've worked on yourself, and you become such a high value person that now opportunities are going to start seeking you out. And here's the beauty. Perhaps you're not going to become you're not going to get a chance to become let's go back to me. I'm not going to be called no one from the Olympics has called me to ask me to become an Olympic swimmer to represent the United States. First of all, I don't qualify age wise. So, oh man, I'm going to be rejected from that opportunity. They're not even going to call me. But I'm receiving calls from people who are asking me, hey, can you come speak? Hey, can you come pour into my group over here? Hey, can you come teach our men in the field these things? Hey, I'm starting to get these opportunities that are actually more my alley, where I love to communicate. I love to speak. I love to create courses and empower people with the wisdom and the knowledge that I've been blessed to have lived in the leadership role. And now I'm getting paid to go and to travel and to speak and to teach. And not only that, to go eat, because they always feed me when I go to these things, and just more opportunities. And the more places I go, the more people I meet. I love meeting people. I love networking. You see how just these opportunities are coming more and more, because I've done the work to say, you know what? I want to focus on my speaking. I want to focus on my skills, because I know who I am. I love this line. I took it from TD Jakes. I've dated myself, and I really, really like myself. I love hanging out with me, because I'm one of the coolest guys I know, funniest guys I know. We're always cracking, and I am content with wherever I go. And so I bring that, but I also know that there's room for me to stretch and to grow, to awaken this thing, to learn more skills. All that I learned from media and camera, I've been applying it to these other things that people are inviting me to do. It's all accumulating, and I bring so much more that gladly people pay me to go do these things. Opportunity. And here's the last one. The last one, or the first one we said, is the fear of rejection from others. I want to not to appear as callous, but if someone rejects me, if someone were to look at me, let's just say a random person in the street, why would I even care what they think about me? Why would I care that they think that I have, oh man, he has white hair? So, of course, no one really says that. It actually looks distinguished. But it really doesn't bug me because the people who do matter to me, like my family, my 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 siblings, my nieces and my nephews, my best friends, I spend time with them. I make time for them. And I can show up as I am because I've done the work. I am truly a happy person. I'm a pleasure to be around with. I am someone that people they have a good time with. As a matter of fact, this weekend I'm going to an exclusive event an artist friend of mine is throwing. Why? Because he called me and says, "Hey, I'm having this really small thing. I want you to come." And I love him. I'm like, "Yes, I'm there, bro. I'm there. I want to celebrate you." It's his birthday, but he's doing such a. He loves to have these events. And not everyone in town is invited to these things, but I am because I've done the work to add more value to me. And when I hang out with him, I'm not there to be a leech. I'm not there to be a schmoozer. I'm there to actually. Thanks for reminding me. There's one of his friends that I need to reach out to, an artist uh, who's going to Paris who wanted to be on this show. Maybe I'll see him this party and we'll catch up. But either way, it's my mind's with all these places. Saying that people who are scared or are fearful of being rejected by others, unfortunately, are the same people that don't walk in abundance. When it comes to people, they there's maybe one or two persons in their life. And because they are so bogged down with the negative, they're so bogged down with death mindset that the rejections happen to them for themselves, rejections of opportunity. They seem like they can't seem to get ahead in life because why would they bother adding value to their lives since they don't even see the value in their life? They don't want to work on themselves. They don't want to add more. And so opportunities will reject them because they don't have sufficient qualifications to apply, to be there. And then they see themselves as going nowhere, as a lost cause, as a loser, you want to put it that way. And then the two friends that are trying to keep them up, they're drained. They're exhausted. And unfortunately, if they're not taken care of, if they're not if they're not feeling themselves somewhere else, because the sad thing is, what's that saying? Deep calls to deep. Basically, like attracts like. Birds of a feather flock together. If this person isn't feeding themselves, taking care of themselves, the only people they're going to attract are people that don't take care of themselves. And if they're in that group of negativity, of course, they're going to be scared of anyone rejecting them or losing those people. But those who say, the buck stops here, I've become aware that this is my life and I'm here because of the choices I made and I want to change. I want to start by focusing on me and accepting me. You know, the law of sowing and reaping works both ways, my friend. What you sow, you shall reap. If you want people to like you, start liking yourself first. Start liking other people. Start supporting other people. But also start supporting yourself into a healthier version, a healthier place for you. And then that will start building your esteem. Start building your confidence. You'll start holding yourself up. You'll start giving a damn for yourself and taking care of yourself and working towards a goal, a purpose. And nothing's more attractive than seeing someone who has a plan that they're working towards. They're working towards accomplishing something. And that's leadership. Leadership is very attractive. And people are like, "Oh, I want to see where this person is going. I want to keep tabs with them because I think they're going to be somewhere big, and I want to celebrate with them." Opportunity, and then abundance of people who are just curious. First of all, they're gonna be curious, like, this person, where'd they come from? They were a nobody, and suddenly they did the work, and bam, they're starting to do a lot of things. They're starting to go places. They're starting to get amazing opportunities. What do they do? I want to know what's going on. And then they're around you and they're curious. And then you now have a group to pick from, to select from. You get to draw. You're not in lack, but you're in abundance. And then whenever someone says, "Ew, I don't like the way you say your eyes," ease. I guess so. Whatever dumb reason people will reject you for, it doesn't hurt. It doesn't bug you, because for every no, you have a plethora of people who see the value that you have worked towards you. So all in all, my short advice, the best way to overcome the fear of rejection is to move away from the sense of lack and into abundance. And abundance starts with your personal development. Abundance starts with what you are willing to pour into yourself first. If you don't see yourself worth working for, doing anything for, don't expect someone else to do the heavy lifting for you. Let me say that again. If you can't see the value in putting yourself first and taking care of yourself, don't expect other people to carry you. Because the reason we are where we are at, the reason I am where I'm at, is because of me. And if I'm not happy, then that's on me. But the beauty is, because it's on me, I can start working towards what I want. I can start working towards that value person. I can start working towards at least forgiving that little boy who 30 years ago said to himself in the mirror, "You are a nobody." I went back. I did the work. I went back in time and I got inside that mirror and I looked that little boy in the face and I said, "You absolutely are someone." I said millions. Maybe I said thousands. Thousands of people are living proof that your life it's worth living. You have impacted thousands, from those thousands, millions, because of what you have done in their lives. You are worth being around. You are a very important individual. You are very special. You are fearfully, wonderfully made. You are God's very own masterpiece. He has given you so much so that he made a way so that you too can hang out for eternity. He's given you salvation. He's forgiven your faults. He's cleaned you up. He's clothed you in righteousness. And now anything that Jesus wants is also for you. Because that's what he has promised you. You have God's very own promises over your life. So get up. The pedestal that they meant to sit you on and embarrass you and punish you is the very stepping stone that we're going to jump on to shout out at the top of our lungs, "I am here and I am worth it. And I am here to make sure that everyone is blessed by my being here." Man, that little kid was dancing at the end of my talk. And he no longer said the words. He no longer accepted the lies of the enemy that I wasn't worth it. He wasn't worth it. But started believing the truth that yes, I am worth dying for. So I should live in Jesus because he died for me. All right, y'all. I didn't mean to get preachy there towards the end, but some of y'all needed to hear that. So again, to recap, 3 areas that we suffer or we experience rejection is rejection from others, rejection from opportunities, and rejection of ourselves. And what I said, the best way to start to overcome that fear of rejection is to start with yourself. Get to the point where you find the root cause why you would even reject yourself, and start calling out the warrior, the value, the princess, the hero, the person of value, the person who you admire, the real you. Get to know yourself, get to appreciate who you are, and start pouring value, creating skills, become a person who is worth it. Become the person that you would never want to reject because you are so valuable in your own eyes. And as you continue to add, opportunities will become more abundant to you. And you will start seeing in clarity because you will have your vision, you have your focus, you'll have who you want to be, where you plan to go, and you can match and walk in line with the right opportunities so that the opportunities that will reject you don't hurt you because they're not meant for you, baby. The right opportunities are there for you. They'll start calling your name. They'll start seeking you out because your value is just shining out. And as you get more opportunities, you become more attractive, you become more confident, and confidence breeds attraction. Then you're going to start getting more people around you who are interested in getting to know you, are attracted to your magnitude, are attracted to your magnetism. There we go, not magnitude, magnetism. They're going to be attracted to your personality, to your vision, to your life plan, to the battle you're fighting. Sorry, I didn't mean to hit the mic. And then from there, you're going to care less about the one or two people that reject you from like, oh, you're not good enough for me, because you're going to have, for every one person who rejects you, you're going to have 1,000 to 10,000 people who just want to bid for your time because you first did the work and you became a valuable person in your eyes first. Rejection proof. And if people do reject you, who cares? I got so many more. I got so much more to do. The naysayers, I don't care. The booers, I don't care. The losers, I love you, but I don't care. Your words or your rejections do not control me. I pray for you, but I also release you, I forgive you, I bless you, but I'm moving forward. My life, however many years I have left on this rock, are limited. And I don't want to spend the rest of my time dwelling in the past and moping in the rejection of others. But I'd rather be living towards an ultimate goal, an ultimate end, a life that I can say I'm damn proud that I lived. Man, I said damn 3 times today, 4 times now. That's how serious I am about this. Start by becoming the person you would never reject for yourself, and watch opportunities come in, and then watch people start following you and wanting to know more about what you're doing. Abundance, abundance. Speak that. Say that to yourself right now. I am no longer a child of rejection, but I'm a child of abundance, and I will live my life rejection free of me first. That's a wordful. I am a child of abundance, and I live life rejection free because I no longer reject me. I praise and applaud and encourage me. Go ahead and say that. I'm a child of abundance. I live rejection free because I no longer reject me, but I will encourage, praise me. Now, a lot of people are like, oh man, Jose, you're too selfish. You're too self-centered. No, my child. No, my friend. This is something we need to start with. All of this is under the banner of humility towards God. I know God is above. God is my head. But he's also given me a tool called my words. And my words speak life. Speak belief. And as I hear myself speak, faith comes by hearing the words. Of course, it says hearing the word, then speak the word. Anyway, that has been episode 106, Overcoming the Fear of Rejection. My name is Josafat Emiliano. For those of you who are just joining this call, thank you. I hope you found a tidbit or two to help you Overcome your fear of rejection by starting with you. Remember, you matter. You're valuable. You are God's masterpiece. You deserve a chance at a great life right now in this time. Work for it. Give yourself the skills that you need so that when opportunities come, you're ready for that. And when people come, you're ready for that. And you'll be in the abundance. This has been a show for leaders and entrepreneurs. If you are a leader entrepreneur and you picked anything up, or heck, I'm actually interviewing guests. If you would love to be a guest on my show, reach out to me. I'm going to start filling out my calendar for next month. February, we're in March, for the month of March. I have a few people lined up, but I have them sporadically. So there's some spaces I can plug you in. Remind me or just send me a message here, either on YouTube. Well, not so much YouTube, on Facebook or Instagram. Send me a message if you're interested. Again, I want to say hello to everyone who joined us on Instagram World. You guys are MVPs. But Facebook and YouTube, you have my heart because you've been with me since the beginning here of Hey Rockstar. Also, for those of you who want to know more about this mindset calls that I do every Saturday, it's for a select group of people. I mentor men. Right now I'm doing mentorship and just having mindset calls with and I'm more specific to single men of faith. I have something called the Sacred Men's Co. If you go to sacredmens.co, you can actually find a calendar there. If you're struggling with purpose, if you feel stuck, or you just want someone to talk to, book a consult with me. Let's call it a discovery call. Let's just see where you're at. For all you know, it might just be a little fine tuning that we need done, and I would love to just help you out, pray with you, speak with you, whatever you need to. Let's just book a discovery call. And if you're looking for community, if you're tired of going and not finding people of your just single guys that you can compare notes with, we're not there to preach to each other. We're there to compare notes as men of faith, what we're doing, how we're doing, to encourage one another, to sharpen each other as iron sharpens iron. I encourage you to go to a Facebook group called the Sacred Men's Co. Look us up, and you can actually, on this website, there's a link to the Facebook group. Sign up, jump on in, and just start saying hi to everyone. But that's what I got for you guys all today. Thank you for joining us here in Andrews, America. This is Hey Rockstar, and I just want to thank you all. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for just letting us into your homes today, or for letting us into your cars. But most especially, thank you for letting us into your hearts. So until next time, I'm Josafat Emiliano, and I wish you much love and many blessings.